Welcome back to the Lies of P DLC. Not even 5 minutes in the new area, you already have your new favorite weapon, and a few hours later, you get some nasty combinations. Let me show you the locations, what you can do, and how much fun they are to use. Let's begin with the bow. First I show you what it does, then I show you where it comes from. The bow is simply amazing. I use it as my second weapon if I encounter a rabble. You can light attack, spam away, and the closer you are to the target, the more damage it deals. So if I shoot someone from very far away, it is okay damage. But as I let them actually approach me closer, I can really blast away and stagger them. And if they get too close, you can use your weapon art on triangle to land a devastating hit. With L1 and triangle, you can even do a very charged up super shot that really goes bonkers. Heavy attack is a double boop boop, followed up by a charged heavy attack. And the really interesting part about the charged heavy attack is if I use my main weapon to prime someone for a stagger, whoop whoop, then I can actually stagger them with the bow. Let's say the crocodile boss whacks you around and you have no way of getting close to him. You're scared that he might hit you while you try to charge heavy attack him. Bring some distance into you, bow out, charged heavy attack, and he'll be staggered. Run up to him and do the finisher. The bow has become my absolutely go-to tool as I go through areas, especially if there are annoying opponents with stupid retaliation counterattacks that don't like to stagger easy. You just boop them with the bow. And I only use my main weapon for actually strong elites or the bosses. And even at the bosses, I'm using the bow. Your journey begins in the icy wastes, and you make your way all the way to the Hall of Adventures. You'll have to fight your way through this area, and then later you'll unlock this shortcut. As we then step out, this would be 20 minutes into the DLC. You get yourself into the river to the right side. Got these dudes, and they're very nice to kill with a bow, as you can see there. Or I can use the heavy attack to take him out. Boom. Now she comes close, but we can stagger her with the bow. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then behind the icicles, in this chest, you'll find yourself the bow. The bow itself is a technique weapon. So if you already have boosted technique because you're using Ouroboros Eye, for example, you're good to go. Generally speaking, a lot of the weapon we've found are technique weapons. Now the next one would be the Lorenzini bolt blade and handle. This one is crazy. I can run, then hold my heavy attack until I hit an opponent. You can also charge your heavy attack and leap forward. Yep, there's quite some distance for this weapon. The standard stabs are just what they are, standard stabs. And with a standard running into a poke, distance nice. But this Lorenzini heavy attack charging is quite something to engage your opponent. For the weapon art, we have the Wandering Moon and the Storm Notice. Triangle would give us a boom explosion. So you stab into the opponent and then you explode. The stab itself doesn't do damage. And then for the second weapon art, you get that charged up superpower hit that staggers. This weapon is not upgraded at all and already does plenty damage. The interesting part is we can keep the handle for any top. I now go for assemble a weapon and I choose for myself the Lorenzini blade handle. Then I can put whatever I feel like on top of it. For example, the acidic crystal spear, which always has worked well in the base game. Creating a poison stabbing weapon that can now do these super stabs, and which I can also rush into my enemies with. Or you could try to get more range out of it, as the poison stabbing handle is not really that long. But there's quite some more range we can even get here. And we put the Spear of Honor on the tippity-toppity. Whoa, yeah. Stand a kilometer away from the enemy and actually get a hit in. For this one, you're going to go to the Jungle Zone walkway, and you walk towards a very intriguing Chimera-esque boss. I'm not going to tell you anything more. You can figure this out yourself in despair. Then, past the bird cages, you will enter the river. And this is one of the weapons that's going to be hard to miss. If you actually played the DLC already and missed that, please tell me, because I'd be surprised. Here you get these doggy opponents. Then we get a good old friend from the first part of the game again. And that snowball runs down. And in this chest, you'll find the weapon. You're going to kill the first boss. He doesn't give you any ergo. You're going to kill the second boss, and it gives you the death Talons. Alternative, you could get an amulet that increases the stamina consumption and damage for normal attacks. Didn't like that too much, rather wanted to go for the actual weapon. I forgot to mention earlier, the Lorenzini blade is also a technique weapon. And the next weapon too is a technique weapon. We get the Death Talon with a technique scaling A, and those are claw weapons. Yabba dabba doo. And they're surprisingly good because they hurl you forward. Even a basic attack, a normal light attack, makes you walk towards your opponent. Never this actual standing still. And the heavy attack, that's a charged heavy, that's a click heavy. Even a normal just clicking, still always moving forward, always towards your opponent. And if you run, heavy attack. Quite useful, huh? Run, heavy attack. And if you then follow up, you keep slice and dicing. That is a light running attack, nothing too special. Then is our arts. We're having Link Slash and Rampage. With a Link Slash, you're really... yeah, that's something, right? That's spamming your triangle. Then if we go L1 in triangle, you pretty much power yourself up to do even more devastating hits. They're nice. Gotta say, I tried them, and I went back to my Lexasia weapon. Ouroboros Eye. Because it just has this very nice heavy attack that also gets you forward. But the claws, they seem to animation lock you a bit more. Because this is quite long. Even the normal attack is quite long. I often felt I got caught inside the animations, and I wasn't doing the crazy amount of damage per hit. It does a lot of damage, but always felt that Ouroboros Eye had a little bit more oomph behind it. Now that being said though, it has a very high critical rate of 40 that my Ouroboros Eye does not have. For this weapon, you need to kill the second boss, and I'm not going to tell you anything about that. No spoilers, nothing, because good luck, have fun. It wasn't too hard. Worst case scenario, put the difficulty a bit lower. I destroyed the enemy with Ouroboros Eye, and it went very well. The next weapon is the Maniacs Pinwheel Blade. That would be 2 hours into the game. Standard light attack, very wide swings, rather slow, then normal heavy, and also the charged heavy. Goes through this overhead double sweep forward, kind of like a good distance machine for engaging. The weapon itself is an A tier motivity and a D tier technique, so exactly not what I'm doing. The running attack is though quite amazing. This is heavy running attack. Quite cool. If you actually run, you notice how the blade starts spinning. Keep running, 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 running. And then they do actual damage. But if you get your blade spinning and then you hit, they bonus carve up the opponent. So it's now activated, and it just keeps on and on and on. I don't actually know if it ever stops. No, it does actually stop. See? So you gotta get it spinning to have a good time with it, which means a little bit of running, right? Have it activated. Now for the weapon arts, we get charge and storm slash. That'd be the simple charge, and it pretty much instantly had the blade activated. And for the storm slash, it's L1. Now, well, yeah, that's speaking for itself. Quite something. The storm slash is bound to the handle, so you can actually take that one with you. The charge is from the weapon head. Now the weapon head is intriguing. what could we use this together with if you actually need to move to get it working? The first thing that came in my mind is, let's take the Pinwheel Blade and use it together, obviously, with our Lorenzini bolt handle that we got earlier. Because now we have a weapon that on a heavy attack moves forward and actually gets charged up to then do even more carving damage. And then you're actually poking because you turned this from a slashing weapon into a stabbing weapon and can make more use of your whirly-twirly blade. Not optimal, but kind of works, especially since the range is, yeah. I mean, look at that. How far we can like really stand away from the opponent to still hit him. You fight something annoying that you don't want to get close to. It's an option. This one is a bit tricky to get. 2 hours into the game, Carnival Garden. You'll have to roam through the area to get yourself carnival coins. You need 1 coin for the game that you have to play. There's an elite opponent in the middle that you'll beat, a good old friend. Then we get past these dudes here with a charge. Charge actually useful. Hand the waiter your coin. And then we're going to have to play a little whack-a-mole game. For this whack-a-mole game, I recommend using the claws. No matter how heavy you have them upgraded, they're going to be useful. You step in the middle, and then clowns are going to pop up. I think it's actually going to work, right? Yeah, clowns are going to pop up, and you're going to have to slash them. And you're going to have to slash as many as possible. So that means really looking for this, then going through, then slashing them. It's a really bad run right now. But yeah, the claws have worked really well because they're quick attacking and you can actually zoom with them, right? Like this. You need to get, I think, 10 clowns or something like this. It wasn't too complicated. I tried a stabbing weapon. I tried the bow. No luck there. And as you then get this whack-a-mole game done, you'll be granted the weapon. It's going to take you probably 2 or 3 tries. I get it on my 3rd try. There are 2 more weapons we found. That would be 3 hours, 30 minutes in. The first one would be the Puppet of the Future Blade. It's intriguing because the light attack is you just firing away. It burns through a lot of durability. Then your heavy attack is a double stab forward. For the charging, you just have a normal charge with a heavy attack, and then with a light attack, you go for this forward burn. Not bad. It has quite some range. I mean, the burn is useful for rebel clearing. Then as our weapon arts, we get the overheat stab and the fire amplification. Overheat stab, that would be it. Just charging up your blade and going ham. And then for the handle, you pretty much get your blade fired up to do more fire damage. Now, I don't like that you actually don't have a light attack because it's really a disconnect for me to not be able to light attack properly. It's a bit weird. But the actual Puppet of the Future Welder Blade fits really well together, again, another time, with a Lorenzini bolt handle. These two, again, a technique weapon, by the way, create another very lengthy weapon. Like here, you can see that. We still have this supercharged fire stab, but we actually have a left click poke now, and a left click poke with, again, range to boast. Plus, we still have then this charged up powered. You notice that it's a very good base that works together with a lot of things. Like, we're always coming back to it, but hey, why not? If it works, it works. The weapon is found in the 2nd region Zelator underground facility, and we're going to teleport right to the start. Keep in mind though, in order to get the blade, you already have to have progressed through the region and unlocked a certain shortcut. Don't worry, this shortcut you can't miss. And it's the door right at the beginning of the Zelator underground facility. You're going to have a hard time not getting to this point. Then we make our way down, run past all the opponents, and you will have unlocked this underground passage over these ladders. So you can move into the right side here and jump down. Here is the headbutting dude. And you all know how annoying this guy used to be, right? Absolutely abhorrent, annoying enemy. And there in the chest right next to him, that's where you can find yourself the new weapon. In the same region, not 30 minutes later, we get the next weapon. It's called the Vendetta Blade. The Vendetta Blade itself, again, technique and motivity scaling. More motivity, though, than technique. And I like that one a lot. The stabbing attack has you have this spinning handle that hits bonus. Then normal light attacks, or just light attacking away. You also have your charge. That does not spin the blade, so that would be a charge attack, and then you get the normal forward. It has a bit short of a range, but at least it goes for sweeping attacks, so if you're attacking multiple enemies, quite nice. For the weapon arts, we got the strength explosion and the patient swing. First, it's triangle. That would be charging up your weapon. And then you actually do explode on hit. Yeah, right, not bad, right? Like, this is going to last for a while now, and we do cool explosions. Then, with your L1, doing a charged hit, you can go through the different stages, so you don't have to do the first stage hit, right? 1, 2, and just let go at any point to then do a super empowered hit. Obviously, if you beforehand make your weapon explosive, there's also the bonus explosion. Now, I really like the blade of the weapon, but I found the short handle to not be too optimal. Now, we could do something untypical and combine it with a booster glaive handle. That would make it a technique scaling weapon, which works very well for me. It does take the spinning away on the charged attack, because that's bound to the normal handle of the weapon, but you get the booster glaive handle bonus, and you could still make your weapon explode on hits. So you're pretty much now having a bit more range, not much more range. You get these charged attacks that then with bonus swingy dingy, while the booster glaive handle also provides you with the actual charged up attack that the prior one did as well. Fits quite well. Alternative, we could go away from the slash stab scaling and go for an unfortunate stab scaling, but you could use that Lorenzini bolt handle. I know we're again at the Lorenzini bolt handle, for the main reason that if you charge this blade up and then you go for stabbing, you actually have long range stabbing bonus explosions. Maybe it would be better to bind this like to a very fast attacking handle, like a dagger handle, or the acidic crystal spear, which goes really, really quick, to then go stab, stab, stabbity, stab, boom, 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 and have multiple explosions happening in a row. For this weapon, we return to the underground facility. First waypoint, you have to have killed the coolant room control boss already and cleared out the coolant, because otherwise you would freeze to death. Then we just jump down to the right, past all these annoying enemies that are trying to freeze you, and it's actually quite a bonus journey just for a nice weapon. But there's also a cool fight waiting for you, so I highly recommend you actually going through this. Past the dude with his little freezing device. Like, tons of enemies, right? And much XP to be gained until you arrive at the dude with his 2 swingy dingies, and then in the back room, that's where you will have the weapon. Now, these are all the weapons I have found in the first 5 hours of the DLC, and I don't think I've missed a single thing, but I got another amazing thing for you, and that would be the Icarus. The Icarus is your first Legion arm that you can unlock. There's another one, but the Icarus is so much better. The Icarus is great. At first, you can throw 1 blade at the enemy. That just happens. He just throws this 1 blade. The thing is, I already have it upgraded, so I'm already throwing 2 blades. But I'm not only throwing 2 blades, I can go Icarus 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you can shoot at the opponent, and it will be stuck on them. Or you can hold L2 and then use your weapon art to, well, yeah, use your Fable to shoot these blades out. And that's on top of all your hits of what you anyways do. So if you get like a lull moment versus a boss, if he's standing, if he gets staggered, like you, for example, have him like in this stagger motion and you have had him on his knees and then he's like trying to recover and can't take damage right now, you can just spam the 4 blades on him, So they're, as soon as he comes out of the stagger, start doing damage to him right away. The winner for me right now is definitely the bow. As you can see, this is +5 already. I'm mostly playing with the Ouroboros because I've been just beating the game now 5 times with it already. It's just too much fun to use, and it has one of the best weapon arts that can just be thrown out like this on the distance. Just love the weapon. And then wherever I have him primed for stunned, I can now pull out the bow to actually get the stagger on. And again, I just clear out the rebel left, right, and center with the bow. Have even fought some annoying elites where my brain cannot comprehend how to do the counterattacks. Just complete it with a bow, and whenever they come close, I just use the weapon art to get some distance between us. Very useful. Don't forget that with the bow itself, you can also just guard, parry, perfect guard. It's there, it's working. And yes, before you ask, your grindstone works on your bow as well. So if you then make a poison bow, or in this case, I used a lot against puppets, the electricity bow. You can just go away and electrify them very easy in the beginning because you're going for so many attacks in a row, right? I mean, even if I go for my favorite weapon, it's like 1, 2, or it would be like the double hits, right? It's not too crazy. But with the bow, you're like acid, 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 or fire, 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 lightning, 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 right? You can really easily apply that status effect. Ladies and gentlemen, what is it for you? Which are you going to experiment around with? I will recommend the Puppet of the Future's Welder Blade, definitely, together then with that Lorenzini handle. That combination I'd truly be willing to give a full try, as I really do like this charged up attack. It just does so much damage, just so much range, and that explosive stab, it's kind of cool, especially the bonus range. But tell me in the comments below, what do you think? If you also want to see my day 1 of Lies of P Overture or the best ergo farms in the game, enjoy. Have a fantastic good day.